Hello everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm Jackie and I create mosaics using sea glass. And today I'm going to take you for a walk along the shore in Prince Edward Island and show you my very favorite seascape. And hopefully along the way I'll find a bit of sea glass too. So all the beaches in Prince Edward Island are open to the public and anybody can go on them. However, I can't tell you exactly where I am today because this section of beach has no public access. There's only private access over some people's land or coming in by boat. And I'm really fortunate in the fact that I have a friend up above here who allows me access to her land so I can come down here onto this section of the shore, which I'm so pleased with because it's just beautiful down along here and I'm really excited to share it with you today. So come along with me and I'll show you some of the beautiful seascape views along here. So one of the things that I really love about this area of the beach is these capes. This is classic PEI red capes, and this is a beautiful example of how the capes can be in Prince Edward Island. And there's capes along here, plus there's these little sections of beach that are really good for sea glass hunting. And I absolutely love it. These capes are just gorgeous. And when I get to my favorite view, you'll see for miles in either direction all these beautiful capes. And then in the sections of beach here, there's all kinds of piles of gravel. And in the gravel, that's where I find quite a bit of sea glass. In fact, just while I was setting up my camera to get ready to do this video, I got a whole handful of sea glass. So I got some whites and a few browns, and I even got that one blue. And then I found this really cool piece of pottery that has green on it. It's not really well finished, but it's really unique and cool, so I'm going to keep it for sure. So let's see what else I can find. So just a word about cape climbing. When you're in Prince Edward Island, you'll see these red capes, and it can look like they are really inviting because all the levels of cape look like steps that you could walk up on. And I just wanted to tell you, you need to be very careful. The capes in PEI are made of sandstone and red mud, and they give away really easily underneath your feet. So if you go cape climbing, be sure to have a local with you who knows where it's safe to step and where you should avoid. You can see here how these capes are all covered with like a green algae. And when that green algae is wet, it can be very slippery. Like down at the bottom there where the waves are just lapping in, it would be very slippery right there. Very easy to lose your footing and fall. So you really have to watch your step here. Here I am at the edge of the cape, and if I stepped in the wrong spot, I'd be down there in the water. The water going into that little cave there sounds like thunder. It is just beautiful along here today. It's a bit overcast, which makes it a bit cooler. And it's so still and quiet. The waves are just lapping up. They're not crashing. But I am just loving this kind of overcast day today. So I just leaned down to pick up that green and I found 4 brown at the same time. Not bad for one bend down. So this is cool. There's a piece of pottery. And right beside it was this really nice shell. I love those shells. I often use those in my art. And then there was a brown piece there too. So here I am in a secluded little beach among the capes. The capes are quite high. And it's just beautiful in here. Great spot to look for little pieces of sea glass. And you can see right in the top of this little cove, there's a whole pile of driftwood that nature has pushed in there. Be a great place to have a little bonfire, roast some marshmallows. It's just gorgeous here today. sometimes those aqua pieces of sea glass blend right in with the rocks. That's a beautiful piece. So I'm having some pretty good luck finding some sea glass here today. There's another green piece. This is wonderful. So here's a really good example of erosion along the capes in PEI. This great big crevice has formed here in the cape. And eventually it will erode enough that a great big piece of cape will fall off into the ocean. From up here you can really see how deep that crevice is and how much the waves and all the wind and wave action has eaten away at the cape. And you can see the water coming in there, and every time a wave comes in, it eats a tiny little bit more away. And then eventually, this whole big piece of rock is going to fall right into the Northumberland Strait. So this is my favorite seascape view in Prince Edward Island. You can look here and you can see for miles. Even on a day like today when it's a little bit hazy, you can see capes sticking out all along the shoreline. And then here I am walking along the capes themselves, doing my safety first cape walk. And as you can see the panoramic view here, then if I come along in this direction, the view again goes for miles. And you see all these different capes sticking out into the water. It's just gorgeous. And if you look out onto the water, way off in the distance there, I can see some fishing boats. We're in the middle of lobster season here right now. And the fishermen are out there. You need binoculars to see them today, they're out so far. So I'm standing here on top of the cape, and if I look down I can see the waves kind of lapping at the edge of the cape. It's not really crashing today. Some days those waves are crashing in. On a day when the waves are crashing, they tend to splash up a lot onto the top of the capes, and it's not so safe because the capes get really slippery to walk on. But today is a really good day for it, and I've really enjoyed my walk along the capes today. I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me. So full disclosure, I wasn't by myself today. My mother was with me, and between the two of us we found an amazing amount of sea glass. Even though we set out to view the cape and the seascapes and have a great cape walk, my mother's a real mountain goat when it comes to cape walking, we ended up having a great sea glass hunt along with it. We even found 9 blue pieces. And for us, blue is a little bit more rare, and they're all really tiny, but it's still quite an amazing find to see all those blue. So I hope you've had a lot of fun coming along with me today, and until next time, happy sea glass hunting.